Hi, Jim Longo. I'm going to show you a file change report that's going to display a list of files that have changed when we install the latest version of .NET. We're going to use an application that I developed in order to help me troubleshoot and identify changes on a machine that writes to an internal access database. So we're going to scan a folder, the Microsoft.NET folder. We're going to write that data into a database, all of the files, and then we're going to sync that to a historical table so that we can compare the two once we install the software and we run the file change report. So the first thing we want to do here is go into collection, and here we have a collection for the local device, and we're going to install .NET. So I really want to take a snapshot of the .NET folders, and this is going to be for versions 3.5 and 5.4. So once we hit the execute button, what this is doing is it's scanning the folder, and it's already complete. So we can come in here and see the report, and we can go to file audit, we can go to device list. We can see that JLongo W7 was the scan that we just made, and we just ran, I'm sorry. And the file count is 320. So we can click on that and we can see all of the files that it collected and the folders, right? So here's the 3.5 folder, here's the 4.5 folder, and it shows us the file versions, and so it gives us a nice report of everything that it detected during that scan. So what we do here is we go to database utilities and we sync the H file audit table. So now we just made a mirror image of the database, so that when we install the software, we can run a new scan and we can compare the two tables and we can get a file change report. So let's go ahead and kick off the Radia Connect, and here we're just going to run a Radia patch connect to a server, and it's going to install the latest version of Microsoft.NET patch. And we just kicked it off. So we can come over to here and we can see that we're installing 4099633. So that's going to take some time. So what I'm going to do is pause here and then come back once we start installing. So it looks like we're starting to move along, and we should try to install the latest .NET patch here in a second. And we will then be able to restart if needed and run a new scan to detect, run a new scan of the folder, and then we can run our file change report. Okay, so we are moving along, and hopefully we are going to start kicking off the download of the latest .NET as soon as it detects that it is needed. And this information is used to build the descriptor files that we use to create templates for software. And there we go. So we are now going to download and install the latest Microsoft.NET, and I will go ahead and pause and come back once it's complete. Okay, so Radia just installed the latest version, the latest patch for Microsoft.net, and it requires a reboot. So we're going to go ahead and reboot. Once we come back, we can do our scan and do our differencing and get our file change report. So I'm going to pause here. Let me hit OK. So this machine begins its reboot process, and I will come back once the machine is out of reboot. Okay, so our system is back online, and it is running a post Radia Connect just to send compliance information back to the database, so that our reports will actually change to reflect if this system is actually patched or not. So we can go ahead, while this is running, we can go ahead and run our post scan. Now what I like to do is I always come back in here and always resync the file table before I run my post scan. I know I've already done it, but as a practice, I always come in and make sure I do it again. That way I don't have to rerun all of these tests again. And so we'll just go ahead and sync it again. It doesn't harm anything. So now we can come in here, we can go back to collection, come back to local device, and run our same file audit, which is a hard-coded file audit. It runs for a bunch of different folders that have to do with .NET. So let's go ahead and run and execute. Should only take a second or two or 10. And we should be able to then detect all of the files that have changed, so that we could use that information to build our descriptor files. Okay, so while that is running, we'll come back and we get a pop-up box letting us know that the scan is complete. It might take a little longer because we're running a computer's doing a little bit of extra work because it's actually running a scan. So here we are, it completed. So we can come into reporting, we can go to file audit. So here I have find updated files, and so here we go. So these are all the files that were updated during the installation of the latest patch. So this is our updated file report, and I will take this information and save it to a file, and then I will use it to build the XML files. And I could use any or all of these files, and it will show me once this bulletin is installed, this is the file version that you expect to see. And this is how we do our compliance security patching using custom descriptor files. So thank you, and look forward to showing you more in the future.